I love this place. The big trestle at milepost 14.6 was one of the timber frame trestles impacted by the Wesley Ridge Wildfire in summer 2025. This trestle was threatened by the wildfire during a few days in early August, with the trestle defended by BC wildfire contractor helicopters. Some fire damage occurred to the structure. Here's an excerpt from a news story that quotes the BC Wildfire Service. A third trestle was compromised and was actively defended during the wildfire when the fire was down and active in that area. Now, I've seen photo evidence that shows the trestle still standing after the wildfire, and my episode 1 video goes into more detail on that analysis and conclusion. This is the former Esquimalt and Nanaimo Railway, Port Alberni Subdivision. This is on Vancouver Island, on the west coast of British Columbia, Canada. There were 4 trestles above Cameron Lake. 3 of them were lost to the fire, and this big one is the one that was damaged but not lost. Well, it's actually not quite that simple. My nuanced opinion is that the Trestles' fate was actually lost around 9 years before this recent fire, after 2016 or so. 2016 was roughly when authorized maintenance access by volunteer groups was ended, and so the obstacles from nature's constant pushback started to accumulate unchecked again. In my view of the history, the June 2016 Narcoa Speeder Tour, as the last authorized use of that part of the Port Alberni subdivision, seems to mark the end of that era when the railway operator was able to access the remote sections of the railway. Eventually, the section of railway above Cameron Lake, roughly between mileposts 13 and 18, which includes the 4 Lakeview Trestles and 2 other Trestles west of the lake, well, this section of the railway was isolated at both ends by unchecked accumulated physical obstacles on the railway, obstacles that would include the deteriorated trestles themselves. The inaccessibility of this section of railway then allowed further obstacles to build up and add to the list of unresolved barriers, a compounding problem with no end. I'm almost at the big trestle. This area here always makes me happy because of that. I'm glad to almost be at a place that is really beautiful to me and interesting, and is a go-to place for me just to feel peace and joy, tranquility, all that good stuff. I really love it. Just like seeing an old friend again. Gets a little bit older like us, a little bit more fallen apart like us, but still just packed with just a happy place. A quick note about time. In this series of videos, I refer to 3 different eras. First era is when trains were running on this railway, so before early 2002. The second era is when I was doing my hikes there, so between 2019 and March 2025, and this is the main focus of this video series. And the third era is the current evolving unknown post-fire reality, when the old routes of people hiking Wesley Ridge and me hiking the railway aren't possible and the area is unsafe.